let's talk about women and the male suicide rate. Now, I recognise the fact some of what I say men do to women as well, right? I'm not pretending it won't. Men aren't that different from women in this regard. There's quite a lot crossovers, you might say, right? So just bear with me. But I'm taking it from the male point of view. Now, have you ever had a woman say to you, you need to open up more, let your emotions show, be more open about things. And then you have been and they haven't replied. They had no reply whatsoever. Well, that's because there's certain rules following these kind of conversations, and some women see things differently from others. And I'd say 2/3 of them haven't got your best interests at heart when they ask you when they say they're there for you. They're not there for you at all. They're there for them. And this is the problem. This is why men don't open up to women, because we know that about women, right? Whether you want to admit it to yourself or not, we know women play mind games. We know women like sex. We know women see things in sexual context. We know all that, right? Some men do as well. Men tend to go more physical than mind games, but you get the idea, right? So we keep our gobs shut. And when we do open up, we find out why we keep our gobs shut, because we usually end up regretting it. Now, I'm speaking from experience here. So this isn't guesswork. This is me watching, learning, and having it done to me. Now, you get different types of women. Now, some women will see your pitiful state, your bad luck, your depression, your anxieties, your stress, as a kind of romantic come-on. It's a way of getting into the sack for them. And they go, oh, he's doing a good job. He's making a big effort here, isn't he? Maybe I should give him a pity fuck later. That'll cheer him up. Right? Or maybe my chances are in here because he's really low and he's desperate, so maybe he'll do me. And actually you just want a friend. You literally want a friend. But the women, them kind of women, they don't understand that. They don't get the fact that you really are in trouble. You really do need a friend and you really do need to talk to somebody. Instead, they take it down that sex route. They see it in a sexual context. Now, I found some women will sleep with every bloke they know. Right? They don't have a bloke in their life that they haven't slept with, and the second they've done with them, they're out of their life. So they're bringing new blokes in to replace the old blokes, and it's just, they don't have any real male friends. And the idea of a man needing to talk to them as a friend doesn't even occur to them. It doesn't go through their skull. It's all about sex. The other type is the kind of like ones that like to twist things and play games. They'll use Facebook to play games. They'll use the block function as a weapon and things like that. Or they'll make posts designed to upset you and then just leave it there. Or they'll try and manipulate things. And if you say to them, I'm really down, I need help, I need someone to talk to, everything's gone wrong, they'll have their notebook out, taking notes down for later to shoot you with. They will be literally you'll be giving them the ammo needed to push you over the edge. When you get them that they see things in a sexual light and they play mind games, then basically they're going to just screw you over both sides. Right, they really are. Now, I've got some really good juicy stories I could tell you right now that would make this video a lot more exciting than it is. But I'm not going to tell you. What I am going to tell you though is this, right? The mind games they play are designed to piss you off and upset you, to stress you out. Now, if you're already in a bad place like me, homeless, jobless, and you put a percentage on your stress and you say it's 0 to 100 and I'm 50 because I'm homeless, the people who play mind games will see that and they'll think, oh goody, we see how far we can push him. And they will pile on the stress. They will use everything you tell them, all that emotional gold that you throw on their lap, and they will use it against you. Before you know it, you're on the doorstep, on a council estate, they're yelling your personal secrets across the fucking street, and the neighbours are joining in. That's their ultimate goal, is to stress you out. Now you say to them, right, I'm feeling suicidal, I really can't take much more of this. You say to a bloke that, they'll step back and they'll understand. You tell that to one of these types of women, and they will see it as an opportunity to get even worse. And in my case, I've said that to people and they did get worse. They actually enjoyed my misery. I could hear them laughing after they did that to me. And when I tried to get away, you know, they complained I didn't take my phone with me. So when I did have my phone with me, they were able to keep sending me depressing messages when I couldn't get away from them anymore. So I wasn't able to escape. They literally followed me around with this kind of depressing bullshit to make sure I never recovered, and I was always highly stressed and on edge all the fucking time. They knew I was feeling suicidal. They knew I was pushed to my limits, and they kept pushing. That is what I'm talking about, right? They use this emotional game to make you worse. And the very fact you might leap in front of a bus because of them, they don't care. It doesn't even cross their mind that that's wrong. It's just something they like to do. They use Facebook as games, you know, Facebook games, usually second accounts, that kind of shit. They're very, very fucking dodgy people from the start. You really can't trust them. The ones that use it as a sexual thing sometimes also play mind games as well, right? But they see you as a sexual thing. That means they're not actually taking you seriously. And I know the irony here is women say that about men all the time, but the truth is women do it to men all the time too. They don't take you seriously. When you've got issues, it's just a chance of getting into bed with you. That's all they care about. They're not listening to you. They're not going to help you. So them two situations, them two types of people should be avoided. Don't even try talking to them about your problems because they'll just make them worse. What you need is a real friend. Right? Now, when men are friend-zoned, we become the best friend of a woman. No sex there, right? You kind of need a woman like that who's been friend-zoned. Now, if it develops into something afterwards, because you get to know them a bit better and you like what you see, that's fine. But when you need their help, you need a friend, not a partner, not a sexual companion. You need a friend. You need someone you can talk to, someone you can express to. No, I poured my feelings out, right? Let everything go. Let the person I trusted, know how I was feeling, everything else. And they made it about them. It became about them. Everything I said was automatically about them, not about me. I was talking about me, my situation, and how I felt in my heart, and somehow it became about them and their sexual desires, right? And they saw everything through that light. Then they played mind games with me. And when they knew I was on edge, they kept pushing and pushing and pushing. The only reason I didn't jump in front of a bus is because when I'm confronted with a bully like that, I come out fighting. And I'm not about to give in and give them the satisfaction. Otherwise, I would have jumped in front of a bus. But the person I confided in turned out to be very, very dangerous. Anybody else that was in a similar situation who trusted them the way I did might have jumped in front of a bus. They might have killed themselves because of this person. So you see, this is why men don't open up. Because we know women well enough to know what happens when we do. We open up. And this happens. You either get mental games or you get this sexual Olympics type thing going on, or both. You never get the person you want to talk to. You never get a friend. And another example. I've been like, to places with the wife when we were together, and I met her friends. And quite a lot of the time, I'd look them in the eye and start talking, and they wouldn't meet my gaze. And they wouldn't listen to what I have to say. They'd talk over me, around me, through me. They'd never acknowledge my presence. It's like I wasn't even there. I started calling them Mrs. Ignorant. And I thought to myself, why? What do they think's going to happen? I'm here with my wife, right? What do they think's going to happen? Right? And the other thought went from my mind is, don't flatter yourself, love. But their mind went there. Every bloke coming down the street obviously wants to get in their knickers. It's like the old attitude towards gay men in the 80s. Every gay bloke wants to get up your ass. It's that kind of thing, but for women. I mean, it's obviously wrong, That's the point. So, but they still saw men in that light. Like if they looked me in the eye, they might get pregnant. If they talked to me, they might fall hopelessly in love and be unable to help themselves. Basically, it's fucking rude and ignorant. That's what it is, right? It's nothing to do with sex. They're just being rude. They're just being ignorant. But it's the same thing. It's kind of the way they see men. They don't see men as men. It's some kind of sexual object. Right? They always were. They like to say men see women as sexual objects, but it's been true the other way around since the dawn of time as well. Right? Women just don't like to admit it. Right? Now, as a bloke, it's not opening up that's the issue. Right? That is not the problem. It's who you open up to. If you open up to that type of person and you're already stressed, they will push you to the brink of suicide like they did me. They'll push you to the very edge of sanity. They'll make your situation worse and they will enjoy doing it. Or they'll fuck you and then just lose interest in you. Either way, you'll get no help whatsoever. Right? If you find someone that's been friend-zoned, a woman that is a friend, has not a woman that shags every every male friend she knows, but someone who has friends and hasn't fucked them all, right? That kind, right? The one that knows how to be a friend to a man without getting his pants off. You go to that person, you tell them how you're feeling. They will be a friend to you. They will listen to you. They'll give you comfort. They'll help you. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got friends like that, right? I've also got the other types as well, and they really did push me to the brink where I nearly cracked up, more than once, for a whole year, in fact. But you need the type you can talk to, you can point, you can tell some very personal things to, and no, it's not going to be broadcast on some council estate or told to everybody, who's then going to make a judgment call on based on what you're like, based on this warped version that they've heard of what you said. Because in the end, when you've got a problem and you're stressed and you're anxious and everything else, the last thing you need is some woman thinking it's about them. Because a lot of women do take conversations as about them. Everything a man says has to be about them, otherwise they're not interested. Sometimes it's about you, the man, and not about them, and not about sex. It's just about you getting your act together. And you need a woman that understands that. And in my experience, over 50% of women don't. They see it either sexual or as a way of using mind games against you later on, or both. Some of them just aren't interested, period, but that's normal. But you find the woman that listens to you and not read things into it, not think it's about them and not see it as sexual, then that's the kind of person you can rely on and you can talk to. Anybody else, everything you tell them could end up, being yelled across the street by some fucking neighbour in some massive argument that you never saw coming. They could literally lay a trap for you. You'll walk to the front door and suddenly there's a big performance going on around you and you're the star. Right? Don't trust that type of person. I mean, like I said, I've got examples, really juicy examples I could tell you, like needing to go for a walk and leave my phone at home and then being made to feel guilty for not taking it. So I took it. And then the next time I got loads of depressing shit sent to me on the phone whilst I was trying to clear my head. Or going out to Witherspoon to get away from all this crap that's going on in my hometown. Get a bit of peace, and then being told, did you know it's your anniversary of your dad's death? Like I couldn't get away from it. See, these people, they like depressing you. They keep pressing the buttons. They won't back off. They want you to respect them and give them space and not stress them out. But they do it to you every fucking day. And you can't trust them. You shouldn't rely on them. And when you open up, don't ever open up to that type of person. Right? Just start around. Just think about it. If you know a lass that slept with most of the men in her life, don't fucking share any shit with her. Don't express your feelings or anything. It'll be seen as about her and it'll be interpreted that way, and before you know it, you're going to get a load of shit from her for being something that you weren't even intending to be, right? And if you see somebody that's always gobbing off on the doorstep, causing trouble for people, always bad-mouthing people, don't talk to them either, because you're going to be their next target. If you just hand feed them all the ammo to shoot you with, they're going to use a fucking machine gun to shoot you with. Don't talk to them. Look for the friend-zoned woman. And after you've spoken to them, if you feel better and you feel they're being a good friend and you want to take it further and make it into a relationship, do it in the normal way. Wine and dine them. Because they'll be worth it. They'll be keepers. They'll be the type of people you want to stay with. Because that's the type of person that makes a good partner. It's ironic, but friend zones are usually the people you get along with the most. Or the best. Anyway, that is why the male suicide rate is high. Because men who do open up go through all that kind of fucking shit. And it's the women doing it. They say, oh, it's about stress, it's about this, it's about that. We've got no one we can talk to. When we try, there's nobody there listening. Unless there's some kind of option for sex involved, a lot of women tune out. They're not interested in the conversation. You know? Like if you're the uncle of somebody, they won't bother with you because, you know, you're their uncle. No chance of sex, is there? Right? It says if you're a young 18-year-old, they'll be all over you. You'll never be able to get rid of them. They'll be, oh, and he cute and he needs me. You know? So you've got to understand, right? It says that women don't have your best interests at heart, and the ones that do are the ones you normally overlook. Right, I'm going to leave it there, right? But that's why the male suicide rate goes high, because we're pushed into it by the very people we go to for help. They literally push us to the point of breaking point and then push us a bit further. And if you tell them that you're feeling that way, they will clap, they will smile, you'll hear them laughing, and they'll get worse. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's been done to me recently. So, the friend zone one is the one you talk to. The one that doesn't see you as a sexual object, the one that doesn't play mind games, and the one that's there for you as a friend. If you pick the right person to talk to, you'll never get any trouble and you'll never have any regrets opening up to people. See you in the next one.